pretty simple. Obviously, excited and glad we were able to find a way to win and find a way to fight our way back in the second half, but really disappointed that we put ourselves in a position again to have to fight back like that and, down double digits. And, this game's a funny game. I don't know if we deserve to win or not. I give Hampton all the credit. They played really well. They made a lot of tough shots that we knew that they were capable of taking and making, and they did that. Obviously the second half we were able to make a couple adjustments defensively, and ball starts going through the basket, which makes everything good, but that's fool's gold if you're going to just rely on making shots to be the reason why you find a way to win. So, again, glad that we found a way to fight through it, and it shows a certain grittiness and resiliency that I think this team has, but we have to fix that, and we will, in terms of building large deficits or putting ourselves in a hole.
Is that what this is? I guess just being able to make adjustments. Have you been able to point to that as the second half?
Yeah, that's probably part of it. I think there has been adjustments at certain times, whether it's in timeouts or at halftime. And, some of the stuff that we came out of halftime with, I think they pushed the lead up in the second half. We got the lead down. I think they got back up. I don't know what it ended up being in the second half. I don't know if it was 15 or 7. I don't know what they got it up to in the second half. But I know they increased their lead, so we made another adjustment at one of the timeouts. But regardless of that, you know what it is? It's a sense of urgency to start the game. It's an energy. Energy is contagious, and obviously, and again, this building and the fans, and if we're not going to have the maniacs, we're not going to have them with us. We're not going to have the student section with us next week and in road games. So it's not something we have to find a way when we get going in the beginning of a game for the energy and for our execution to be better. And you know what? Again, I do believe that a lot of it is youth and inexperience, because I don't think there's been 5 guys. Any 5 that we put out there that have been in that situation at this level to get a team off to a good start. Every single player we're starting has never started before at this level, let alone compete against seniors and players that have done it for 3 or 4 years. So the sense of urgency and execution at the beginning of a game, we're not at that level yet. And we just talked about that, and we got to fix that, and we will.
Hampton's defense seemed to give you guys a lot of trouble in the first half. What about their defense specifically kind of posed some problems for y'all in the first half?
Well, Coach Joyner, he's a great coach. They're a really good defensive team. They did a good job keeping us out of the paint. But again, I put a lot of that I give credit to Hampton's defense because they had a great game plan. They knew, they're an experienced ball club. Anytime you got 4 guards out there that are 6'5", athletic, they can switch, they can cover you up. And they did a good job of that. But again, Jaden Walker takes a flat-footed 3, triple threat 3 contested. RJ took 2 contested threes in the first half, early in the shot clock. And there's just no need for that. And again, I think this goes back to what you asked about, the experience factor of trying to recreate what happened at the end of the Presbyterian game. And in the first half of Presbyterian, trying to recreate what happened in the second half of the Mercer game, it bit us again. And we've talked about it. It's something that we've talked about. But again, you only get experience through experience. And at some point, this team and this ball club is going to realize that Hampton's over now. And when we go play Indiana State, Hampton is completely done. Hampton's done right now. And I think we have allowed the second half, these comebacks, to seep into how we play in the first half of the following game. And that's what I've seen, and we're going to knock that out.
You showed that you're not afraid at all to use the subs quite frequently. And Dave and Winston today were massive, very efficient. Talk about how they were able to give you guys that jolt that you needed at different times.
You just said it, energy. Energy, the jolt of energy that Dave brought, that Winston brought, that Jaden brought in the second half. As much as Javon put it in the basket, and Quentin put it in the basket, and Brandon put it in the basket and rebounded the ball, and they did. Dave's energy, Luigi's energy, Winston's energy, and the last one we talked about was Jaden Walker. Those 4 guys' energy really changed, and Dave was really apparent because he came in. We've had to do it. We've had a few guys miss practice the last few days due to some just whether it's being illness or banged up. Javon hadn't practiced the last 2 days. Brandon had been out with sickness, and he just came back, and it took him a little bit to get his legs under him. Ben Biella was going to be in the starting lineup tonight, and he got hurt in practice yesterday. And, so he wasn't a guy that we think really does bring great energy every minute he's on the floor. So we're still searching for that. We are absolutely still searching for that, right? So, to your point, that's why we did have to play so many combinations, and we finally found one that worked. And that second half, that group, and even when Quentin was scoring, and even when Brandon was scoring, they were doing it on the defensive end. It was the defense that led to us being able to shoot the ball better.
Coach, through 3 games this year, more than half of your field goal attempts have come from three-point range. Can you maybe talk about just the philosophy of playing offense like that?
I do think we have guys that can shoot the basketball. I really do. And I'm not some overly analytic offensive coach. Okay, I want us to take good shots, and if a good shot is at the rim, if a good shot is a pull-up in mid-range, the guys that I know can shoot it, or if a good shot is an open three. I would say we would not be over 50% if we would just cut out probably 3 to 4 of those contested threes, and they mostly come in the first half. And we're going to cut those out because those are 3 to 4 possessions where we can get a post up, we can get a paint touch, we can get something going to the basket. And I think what happens is we've shot the ball well every second half so far this season. So we start off the first half just thinking it's just going to happen. So we don't work the same way offensively that we have to. And I would say that I think our defense wears teams down a little bit as the game goes. We're pressuring the ball for 40 minutes. We're up the floor, regardless of if we have to back up in the half court. So that helps, too, in the second half because I do think we take a great pride in being in elite shape and conditioning and being able to hopefully keep that thing going all the way till the buzzer. But that being said, if we eliminate some of those contested, flat-footed, triple-threat, one-sided threes, it's really going to help our offense where the balance is a little bit better. But open shots, I don't have one way or another. We're not trying to do that.
Sounds like you think shot selection, which I agree was kind of the difference in the second half.
Yeah.
How do you clean that up moving forward with this team?
Great question. I think watching film, I think the guys seeing it, we have a very selfless team. Nobody on this team is selfish at all. At all. I mean, guys, there's sometimes where we are encouraging guys to go more. But I just think the learning of understanding when a defense is set versus when you have them in rotation. I think if you looked at some of the shots Hampton was making tonight, those were some tough shots. They were with defenders in front of them, off the bounce, contested long twos, and they made them. And momentum is an unbelievable thing in basketball. So, but that's not who we're going to be. We're not a team that wants to take flat-footed shots, contested shots with the defense in front of us. We want to get the defense rotating. We need to do it through paint touches. I thought Brandon and Luigi both gave us a nice touch being able to throw the ball inside. And we just have to continue to work on it, watching and film, get better each day, where the guys understand, because the key word is shot selection. What's a good shot? It's not about if it goes in or not. Okay, we can't fix that, but what we can do is have a great understanding for shot selection. What's a good shot, and we'll live with the results.
Anything else?
Thank you, guys.